Oh, yeah. It's funny how we ended up with one camera because I put all of these decorations here and here, and you can't see any of them.
Oh, look. Oh, yeah.
Dude, I put those up. Can you tell that they're crooked? From my point of view, I could see it.
No.
You can't tell?
One,
Okay, cool. I got underlighting, and then when you drove up, there was a bunch of a little overrated. Have you read it?
I've tried. I can't get through it.
There are what I would say is just YouTube, like the 5 rings. Just YouTube, like because it's hard to read, right? Because there's also definitely like good and bad translations. There's lots of translations.
Yeah, I have a small one. It's about that size.
But it's repetitive. There's like you could kind of read the first page of each ring and be like, I get it.
Yeah.
But the rings are they're very true.
Yeah.
But as a book, is it fun to read?
No.
How
about the 32 Principles? How far you got in there?
I'm on page 1.
All right.
It was a gift. That's a cool one. Is it good?
I mean, I just am a massive fan of Henry Grace, and yeah, I mean, they are behind that,
right,
100%. Like all the things they think about, and he's done the jiu-jitsu in business, and I've applied jiu-jitsu to the Wim Hof method essentially, and so I'm a huge fan of using the jiu-jitsu methodology to learn other things.
It's funny because what I was thinking about talking about was things that I was feeling emotional today.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
And I was like...
Podcast number 1. Take 5.
And I was like, this would be... Might as well just talk about this on the podcast. But given what we won't talk about, that we talked about right before we started, it feels stupid to talk about it now.
Does it?
Because it feels like I'm going to be a complainer. It feels minor by comparison.
No, but I mean, that makes no difference. Like, and I think let's add this to jiu-jitsu. So it doesn't matter the size of the tournament or who's there. When you're in a tournament, it is life like a big deal. Death. Yeah. And it feels like a huge deal.
Yeah.
And I give that a lot of respect. So I think about that and how, while everybody's problems seem in different volumes of gravity, it doesn't matter. It could still feel a certain way.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. Just a heads up to when you're talking to me, I'm gonna periodically check the camera and the recorder.
Please do.
Yeah. For those that don't know, this is the 5th time that we've recorded the first episode. And every single time something has died or malfunctioned, and we've ended up with video with no audio and audio with no video, and so.
But they've been fun every time.
They have been fun, yeah. Yeah, you guys missed 4 bangers. But the reason I say that is I feel like when I do, I sense that you slow down slightly, like your story.
Oh, really?
But I'm still listening to you.
Oh, okay.
I don't want you to feel like I'm zoning out.
Gotcha.
But I just want to make sure that.
Good.
Yeah.
I want you to do that.
Take it as the opposite sign. Take it as me being like, this is so good. I need to make sure this is recorded.
Yeah, baby. Welcome back to On the Mat podcast. Yeah.
Yeah. On the mat. On the mat episode.
On the mat. No, the aftermath.
Yeah. No. Shout out to On the Mat podcast. That's already a thing. Yeah. And he's my friend. His name is Ray. Shout out Ray.
Oh.
It's a good podcast.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not On the Mat, the company.
No, wait. Is it On the Mat? Or is that... Oh, wait. No, that's Mat Time.
Okay.
It's Mat Time.
Gotcha.
Wait, is On the Mat
still On the Mat used to be... No, I don't think they exist anymore.
OTM Fight Shop. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, we could take that.
Respect to them. No, we don't want that. We got our own.
The Aftermath is awesome. On that note, what I was going to say is, I heard a thing that if you want to be in the top... I think I shared this with you. If you want to be in the top 1% of podcasts, podcasters, you just need to clear 21 episodes.
Oh, man.
Because 99% of podcasts end before episode 21.
We're a quarter of the way there.
I think published, it only counts published episodes.
Okay. Right.
So if we get to, on episode 22, I already have this like saved in a shopping cart and everything. When we get to episode 22, I have a neon sign that says the Aftermath in cool cursive writing.
No way.
It's going to go right there.
It's awesome.
It's not much money, but I don't want to spend it if we end up quitting after episode 5.
I mean, I am not quitting. This is like one of my favorite things to do is just to hang out and talk with you.
Yeah.
Before we even did the podcast, because we became friends, maybe because of similar mentalities and thought processes around jiu-jitsu and like our love for the students and our love for kind of abandoning real life to the grind, to grind on what we would rather do. And so we just we have good conversations regardless of podcasting. So
I would say that we actually just embraced real life.
Ooh.
We abandoned fake life.
Oh, respect.
You know
Professor.
what I mean?
There you go.
Both of us don't work a 9 to 5.
Right.
And both of us have made our livings and our jobs just doing the thing that we love to do the most.
Yeah.
Right.
Heck yeah.
And we're kind of two sides of a unique coin in that your thing professionally is the breath work, and then you like to do jiu-jitsu kind of complementary with that.
Sure. Yeah.
And then I'm the flip side. I do the jiu-jitsu for work.
Right.
And I like to do the breath work to complement.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
Yin yang.
Right. You complete me.
Oh. This podcast is good already.
What I was going to bring up though, in regards to, I'm feeling emotional.
Yeah.
But what I did is, so it's cold enough at night now in San Diego.
Yeah.
That I feel like my cold showers count.
Oh yeah, that's pretty cold.
There's like 3 or 4 months out of the year where it actually counts as a cold shower.
Yep.
When you take a cold shower in June, it's just kind of a room temperature shower.
Yeah.
But
it's in the 40s. It's the ground temperature is getting in the 40s right now.
Is it? Okay.
Yep, sure is. Yep.
Yeah, that felt like a cold one.
Yeah.
And I even gave up. I even wilted and was like, no, I don't want to take a cold shower. And I was in a hot shower. And then I changed it, turned it off. That's my phone.
I was excited that it was mine. That's good. Those are the best cold showers, are the ones that you don't want to do, because then when you're done, you're warm and you feel good.
Yeah. Well, I'm definitely I feel better now. That's why I was going to bring it up, because So I was feeling really anxious. Honestly, I've been feeling anxious for like 3 or 4 days. And what's funny is because on one of our unpublished episodes, I talked about the certain things of why I don't really ever feel anxious. And I really don't. Like, I don't feel anxious. I really don't. It's a rarity.
For competition, you don't feel anxious.
We talked about that, but we also talked about, remember how like kind of jiu-jitsu and difficulty and things like that are kind of a cure for anxiety 100%. And things like that.
Yeah.
I really don't. I don't know. I'll say this. I have been eating like trash because it's my birthday weekend.
Yeah.
And so that sometimes does it. Now that was your phone.
Look out. I'm back, baby. Speaking of the grind, sometimes it's rough. You got to. Not all the bills are paid on time. We're getting there, though, baby. Shit.
Shit. So, hold on, quick sip. So, yeah, I don't know why, but kind of for nothing. So I have 2 things. We're gonna figure me out together right now.
It's the only way to.
We're going in deep.
You have to discuss your thoughts, otherwise you can't put them together.
That's true. Have you ever not been able to figure something out? Like you're trying to make a decision. You're like, well, this and this, and then as soon as you just explain it to someone else, like you go to get their opinion, and you finish explaining it, and you're like, actually, never mind, I got it.
I'm good. Yeah, like every time I have something complicated, and then you just need someone to listen, and then all of a sudden you're like, all right, hobo, here's $1, and then thanks for listening. Now I figured it out. Thank you. I don't talk to hobos that often. What
was I getting out of that? Oh yeah, so my 2 things. I don't know if I have a lot of irons in the fire right now. And it might just be that my mind is being pulled in too many different directions.
Yeah.
And when I'm not working on one of those things, I feel anxious. You know what I mean?
Because progress, you're like, progress is not being made.
Yeah. There's just too much. But also a lot of them are in states where nothing is to be done on my end, which really, that bothers me. But what's interesting is like when I think about it, it bothers me. But it's when I feel the most anxious. This is a jiu-jitsu podcast, by the way, if you're like 10 minutes in, we're going to get to that. When I feel the most anxious is when I'm not thinking about them. You know what I mean? Like if I have nothing to do, I'm like,
that's kind of weird. That's kind of weird.
Yeah.
I'm good at that. The nothing to do part. Ooh, I'm super good at it.
It used to be my favorite thing.
You don't, you're not meditating these days, are you? Because that would be your meditation time.
I'm not. It's hard. It's hard for me to like the thought of going somewhere without something to think about or to work on. It makes me feel icky.
Man, you use a little breath work to mechanically get you in a meditated state.
Yeah.
And then you just sit there and watch consciousness shift and watch the patterns and watch the things that you see. And man, if, I fall in and out of it, but I always love that idea that if you meditate regularly, and meditation goes hand in hand with breath work. You do breath work first to get you in the meditative state if you're having trouble getting in the meditative state.
Yep.
A wonderful meditative state's like right before you go to bed or right when you get up. You're in a meditative state at those moments. But you can't just, we can't just snap into those states. So you use breath work to get there. And if you can make that the best part of your day, then you become unfuckwithable. Because nobody can take away the best part of your day because you need nothing. You just sit somewhere and it doesn't matter where you are. And you can you have this wonderful experience that you can have every single day and you own it. And then nothing else can hurt you essentially because they can't take that away. So I think about that a lot and use that as like.
That's a big thing.
Yeah. Like, something is bothering me. I'm like, well, they're not going to be bothering me once I get to my place, my sanctuary of mind. So
it's really hard for me to, if there is a problem, I can't, it's hard for me to rest until I've solved it. You know what I mean? Like, for example, I'm applying for this. One of the irons I have in the fire is removing the gym.
I know, the new gym.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
And the company that owns it is a company.
Makes
and
sense.
it's a huge contrast from my current location where it's just one person and I have his number.
Yeah.
When I leased it, I talked to him. Like I didn't even go through any agents. You know what I mean? Yeah. And this thing by contrast is like, I'll send an email. I'll wait 9 days and then I'll get like let us look into that and get back to you. What the fuck?
Ridiculous. I've worked for a company like that and then worked for the opposite. And it's like, it takes 30 people in 3 months to do something that like 3 of us can do in a week.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And it's just because I'll send an email to the agent. He forwards it to his contact who brings it before like the board and they can't address it until the next board meeting. And then they answer and it goes back to the contact. And then, you know what I mean? It's like, I hate it. So, they came back to me with something like they asked a few questions about the business, and they were all questions that I had sent I sent a very thorough application. Yeah. I made like this huge, with help of one of my friend and students. He works in finance. Well, he made this huge spreadsheet with like past revenue and then projected revenue, projected growth, overhead, everything like a full business from a financial standpoint, Beautiful. Everything about the business. Yeah. And I sent that to them. I sent like merchant statements. I sent bank account, credit report. I printed my own credit report. You know what I mean? Sent it to them. Yeah. I was like, this is all this can be is like, hello, we've been waiting for you. Here are the keys. You know what I mean? Right. And they sent me all these questions. And after like, I'm not kidding you, dude, we're 2 months into it. And they go, oh, well, question A, B, and C. And all of that was answered in the first thing, right? And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I've been waiting for 10 days and you came back with questions that I've already answered you.
Yeah.
And so I am here in this room at 11:30 p.m. because, like I said, I couldn't rest on it. I'm like, I knew I was going to have time in the morning, Yeah. I was like, no, I'm not. I can't. I'm just furiously typing away. As per my last email.
Oh no! Did you?
I wrote one of those, right, and then delete. And like,
nice.
Thank you for expressing your concerns. Please see that. And I wrote another one, answering it. But
do you like the negotiator? That one former FBI hostage negotiator who's all famous with a super hot wife.
Do I like him?
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Oh, he's so good. He just said something the other day that you always end good. He said, because what your tendency is like, just what you said, is like, thank you for this. Nah, don't do that, because they're not going to remember that. You end with the good. So you can write it out however you want, but you take out the good parts and you stick them at the end, because the last thing that they remember is the last thing that you said. Right? So yeah, that was like one of his good. I was like, ooh, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. And there's that sandwich method too, where you put a little bit at the top and a little bit at the bottom.
Yeah.
But nobody remembers the top. So he said, you come hard. Just come hard in the beginning, because then they're like, oh, and then and then just ease them, and then at the end, like, listen, but I'm really want to work with you, and I appreciate everything that you've done so far and everything. So I just can't wait to resolve this. And yeah, kind of interesting, huh?
Yeah,
he's great.
Well, hopefully it's solved. So who I just answered the phone right before we started recording. Is man, this is funny. This reminds me of a quick tangent.
Sure.
This reminds me of a meme that I've seen where it's like, it's like what each belt is thinking about. In jiu-jitsu. And it's like a white belt, and it's like more or less like, what do I do with my hands, like Ricky Bobby, and then it's like a blue belt, and they're like, I don't know, whatever. And the purple belt's thinking like, can I do a berimbolo from here? Like, and it goes up, and then the black belt's like, it's like, if I expand to the next unit next door, I could probably get the landlord to lower my...
He's just thinking about the dojo.
Yeah.
And I like how you're just like, what was the blue belt thinking about? Yeah, nothing.
It's nothing important.
Yeah. Something stupid, probably.
That's we still got to make that T-shirt.
Oh,
right.
Which one?
The one that you that's your. We have our black belt country club, right?
Yeah.
Black belt country club, and on the back, blue belt should be quiet. Do you remember? Do you remember that happening in conversation?
We can do that. Yes, we can so do that. I mean, drop ship costs us nothing. Oh.
So for all the blue belts listening, we do love you guys.
Oh my God, yeah. Who are we going to practice on?
Right.
If you weren't there. White belts aren't fun to practice on.
No.
The blue belts are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially the ones that have a little extra oomph. They're like, I know this is going to work. I'm like, oh.
I'm in this weird. I have this weird situation where I feel like the easiest people, in general, because there's a huge spectrum in all belt levels, but in general, purple belts, I feel like, are the people that I have the easiest time with.
Because they pause and they expect everything to be what they know already.
You think?
Well, yeah, because they're like looking to do what they know, and they're looking like they don't improvise. I don't think you improvise a lot when you're a purple belt. That's my reasoning. So,
I think I did. I think I improvised much more.
Did you? Okay. Yeah. I did not. And I didn't at brown belt either, actually. It wasn't until I became black belt where I was like, I'm not listening to anyone else's laws or rules. I'm coming on planless.
I think I became more and more planless, but it was when I started teaching that I was like, I began organizing my jiu-jitsu so that I can package it and present it to someone else.
Yeah, that's a big deal, because I struggle with that.
For a long time, I didn't. Some people would be like, "Oh, remember this position when we rolled this and that?" I'm like, "Dude, my brain was turned off. I don't remember any of the roll we just had."
Full flow. I was going full 10th planet, smoked a blunt, and like I'm remembering none of this, but this is fun. That's fun too.
I wonder if that. I often wonder if that's a sign of me getting better or worse, because I remember less. I remember times when I was a blue belt where I could have private lessons and go to my instructor and be like, okay, I did this move and then this happened. So how do I solve that problem?
Ooh, yeah.
I couldn't do that now. I couldn't finish a, and I'm talking like, I could be like, I did this move last Tuesday and this happened. You know what I mean? Usually when that happens to me a lot. People go, remember this when we rolled? I'm like, no, I don't. You know what I mean? Like,
I wonder if you encourage. So my biggest progress was when I was a member of Marcelo Garcia's online school and Hadra Gracie's online school, and I would watch their videos, and I would bring a note card. No joke. I would bring a note card with 3 things that I was planning to accomplish that class, and I did it. I played it that way for like a year, and so I didn't really. Of course, I would take the class, but the style of it often wasn't like what matched my style. So I would just focus on my 3 things, and usually I would hit 1.5 of them. So one would work, half of one would work, and then one would completely not work. But I wonder if it's interesting to tell your students to like, hey, dude, bring a notebook. Like if they for 1 second ask you that, then like, dude, bring a notebook next time.
Oh, I tell people to do that.
Yeah,
I tell people, yeah.
It's good. It's a good call. Yeah. You don't record the classes though, do you?
No. But
I always thought that would be awesome.
Yeah. I am working on the other iron in the fire is launching the website, which will have my entire
your library
system. Yeah. Of everything that I teach. So it won't when it launches, but over the course of a year or something, hopefully we'll build to it.
Totally.
But that's awesome. I do want to have that so that I'm like, okay, I'm teaching this. This is what we're working on. So if you guys want to go back and study and take certain things and we're like, what was that one move? And you know what I mean? So that, but yeah, I do tell people to bring a notebook, but so far 0 people have ever brought a notebook.
Wow. Interesting. Maybe, okay. So that's not working. Tell them to bring a notebook. What I actually had was index cards on, and I had a tiny file. I had a tiny index file. Like, so it's just this little tiny, I got it at the dollar store. It held index cards. And then I could label them, and then I could flip through them and like keep using them if I needed to.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. I always thought that when you signed up at a gym that there's a bunch of things that they don't give you that you should have. You ready? So you get a gi, right? Or if you haven't, you already, but it's gi time. But you get spray and wash because you don't know how to get blood out of your gi as a 20-year-old man. So you get spray and wash as number 2. And then what else? It was like I had a few other good ones. Oh, like you get an ice pack. Like those ones, it's a piece of paper and you stick it underneath water and it like swells up. Right. You get an ice pack. You get like one of them should be a tiny box with index cards. I'm like, hey, remember your shit, motherfucker. just like start writing that shit down. Don't keep asking me the same questions. You know?
Oh man, that's good. That's a business idea right there. You know how they have like those subscription boxes?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. You should make a jiu-jitsu one, and it's like this month you're gonna get index cards, you're gonna get finger tape.
Yeah, finger tape would be one of them, right?
And you're gonna get like some Clorox pen.
Totally.
Then like the next one could be sandals and like a rash guard.
Oh yeah. Oh my god, all that.
Actually, I don't know what kind of. But proper grappling shorts is one that I feel like
100%. If your shorts has you guys at home, yeah, you have pockets in your shorts. Go back to your car, drive to. Go to TJ Maxx. Certainly, they have shorts there without pockets.
Yeah.
And get you some spats too while you're there. I mean, they're just Under Armour garbage. Doesn't matter.
Dude, I hate you only roll in spats. I hate rolling in spats.
I do that for my opponent. My legs are a little hairy. And
you do it for his comfort.
I really do. I do.
My legs are far hairier than yours.
Well, you know what I don't like either? When you mop up at the end of the night, when you sweep up, that looks like a whole tribe of pubic hair. That looks like all pubic hair, but it's leg hair. But I know it's leg hair, but still in my head, there's like so much pubic hair on the So I do it for that. I started doing it after I saw a sweep up at a big place. I'm like, you clean every. Some classes they don't clean every class. You clean every class. Which is good.
I don't clean every class, but I clean every class block. So like in the evening, there's 3 classes back to back.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But and there's no time to clean in between.
Right,
But yeah, every class block. So some days it's getting cleaned 3 times a week, and we switched to vacuum now, which is way better than that.
Oh, nice.
We used to mop for a while, just dry mop, but it left so much behind.
Yeah.
We vacuum everything, especially if you have tatami mats with the little creases in them.
Yeah. Does it get stuck
the
in
texture,
there?
you know?
Yeah, yeah.
The little
They're
dust
nice mats.
does, you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say?
Something good. I know it was. Cleaning, mat cleaning. If people are interested, I think Grace University has the best videos about cleaning the mats and creating your own mats.
Yeah, I use their videos to build my own wall mat. So if you go to my school,
nice.
on one side
Yeah.
of the gym, you see these kind of vaguely insane asylum looking padded walls.
Yeah.
And on the other side, you see these really nice, clean, squared off, straight hanging ones, right?
I never noticed they were different on either side.
No, you will now. You
Okay,
will now.
yeah, I know. I'm
The
excited.
the shitty ones, the ones that look like somebody should be like in a straitjacket bouncing off of them.
That's right.
Those are Fuji brand. Yeah. And I spent $3,500 on them. The other ones,
that one wall was $3,500. Whoa, Fuji.
Yeah.
A friend of the podcast. Listen, if you if you hear this, just looking for a discount code, guys. Affiliate link, whatever you need.
No, I'm not looking for discount because the other one is nice and clean, and the pads are 3 times as thick, twice as thick, maybe.
Yeah.
They feel better. Even the kids go, can we sit on that wall? Because they all line up on the crappy wall because we had that wall first.
Yeah.
And the kids go, can we sit on the comfy wall? And those are homemade.
No way.
Yeah.
That's awesome. From the Grace University one.
From that video. Yeah.
Man, those are awesome. I've watched the videos several times. I don't even have mats or need to make them, but I just like enjoy the.
That's a long video. You want
20 minutes. It is. I've probably seen it 3 times, which is ridiculous. It makes no sense. So I keep watching it. I'm like, oh yeah, that does. I like what he's saying over there. I mean, I thought about making my own mats at home, and I kind of did make my own mat. It's kind of sitch. At home.
Yeah.
But I got lucky with the.
Dude, I was so mat burned
mats.
after.
Are you serious?
After we rolled, I was
Not
so
me.
mat burned.
Wow, no kidding. Well, I don't know if I can prevent that, Professor.
It might have also been. I mean, it was a little bit. No, I don't. I was gonna say because you guys were all covered in the pieces. You know, I even was gonna say like, oh, I feel like I had less of that on me because I was working on passing more because I didn't really pull guard. So I was like, maybe I just wasn't laying on the mats as much. But it might have also been rolling with Adam because he had a T-shirt on, and I roll with my face a lot. You know, like I push things around with my face.
Oh,
so I might have just I felt like Two-Face from Batman.
Did you?
Like the side of my face was like, you know, I always pass to the left, so it's my left side of my face.
Motorcycle accident right there. Wow, that's so funny. Well, I mean, yeah, my mat cover is about dead. That's my second mat cover. But so I need to get a new one. But yeah, underneath that though, I mean, the
cushiness of it is perfect.
Yeah, ridiculous. It's like 2-inch. It's on concrete, and it's to do suplexes on concrete. It's for wrestling.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You didn't know that? They were pulled up at the Navy wrestling room. Is where I got them. I saw. I posted a little bit on the Facebook group in town. You know, we got some incredible, you know, San Diego Facebook groups about jiu-jitsu and stuff. I'm like, hey, I need some mats. You got some suggestions? And then the old Navy wrestling coach was like, I have 2 giant mats, and you need a big truck and a big guy. And I was sitting there with Big Mike, who lived in his van. And I'm like, I got all that stuff, right? I'll see you in 40 minutes. Who are you, in Chula Vista? Yeah, it was awesome. So
nice.
It's 2 mats. Long ways rolled out that they're a little like, you know, they're a little scuffed up or like they got some holes and stuff on them, but
then you cover it with the tarp, it doesn't matter.
They are thick, and they're seamless if you cover it with the tarp, and the tarp is way too big, but yeah, it works. It's awesome. That's the outdoor setup too. So if anyone's listening, still the 3 of us. That we're going to do
the
outside.
3 of us, including
you and me. Yes, somebody else. Somebody's editing it. So there's 3 of us listening right now. And then we're the outside. I have a sick outside mat set up, 400 square feet of mats, because you put a tarp on the top and you put a tarp on the bottom, so I can put them anywhere. and they're seamless. And it's with the tarps did end up being a valuable investment. Oh shit! I'm back online, baby. Here we go.
I thought you were already back.
No, I mean, I didn't know I was. There we go.
Can I share with you the other reason I think that I'm feeling down?
Yeah, baby, give it to me. That's why I'm here. I might have zero advice for you, but and I'll probably just try to make you laugh after.
Yeah,
but that doesn't mean I'm not listening and I don't feel it.
Okay. All right, yeah. Me and speaking of making a laugh, me and my buddy, it was like one of the, we have a certain sense of humor or whatever, and I think you have the same. Where like if something bad happens, we kind of just immediately someone could die, and we're just like. Make a joke. You know,
gotta
I
go
can't think of anything right now. Yeah.
You gotta just go good.
Good.
So now you don't have that friend anymore. So
one less Christmas present to buy.
That's brutal. That's brutal. I wasn't thinking about it as a selfish point of view. I was just thinking, but that friend lives inside, and all the advice that they've given you. You just went to like, nope, cutting ties. Still got to support their family, for God's sake. You're a Christian, aren't you?
Salty about how much Christmas present money I'm spending.
Oh, my God. Me too. It's brutal.
What were we talking about? Oh, there's like a really one of my favorite like stories of all time.
Yeah.
And I wasn't even there for it. He just told me because he knew I'd love the joke.
Yeah.
He lost his job, and it was like a big job for him. Like he was like real proud of it. It was like one of his first jobs that he got in his like degree and stuff. And then he got fired. You know. And so like to kind of get over the hump, his buddies like took him out, and they were out somewhere. Like not partying or something. They just went to go get lunch or something, you know.
Okay.
And just to keep him company because he was all down.
Yeah, yeah.
And then this is as far as I remember, this is the day he got fired, right?
Okay.
And and then they're talking about something else, you know, like they're bickering over something, you know, like blah blah blah. And then someone goes like dude, just let it go, you know. And then my friend's brother, he goes, yeah, dude, like Benji's job, let him go.
Oh no!
You want to close that? I think my AC outside just turned on.
Ooh, yeah, sure. Man, that leaves it loud.
Is that this on, son? No, it is the AC outside. Yeah, it did nothing. Anyways. That's a story that's probably funnier if you were there, and it's like a third person. Well, I wasn't even there, but I still like it. Anyways, let's move on. What were we talking about?
We haven't done an intro for the podcast.
Oh yeah, does anybody want to know what this is about?
The three of us might. We're here.
So this is the Aftermath podcast. The goal of which is to kind of recreate that you know, that moment that we all enjoy after training. You know, class is an hour and a half, but you know, it takes you 3 hours because you sit around afterwards and you talk to your buddies and everybody's buzzing and high on endorphins, and you're talking about jiu-jitsu or you're talking about life or whatever. But you know, you feel everyone. You know, you're always feeling talkative after class. You're feeling good, and those are like some of my best. So I was telling you, right? Those are some of my most specific memories. Is just sitting on the mat for like an hour and a half afterwards, talking about fucking Van Halen or something.
Oh my God, it's the best. It's literally the best. The aftermath, endorphins, and camaraderie that you get is why we're here. It's like why we're here and doing this. I mean, that's if that part didn't exist, then there'd be less of us doing jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
But I just met,
for sure.
I just met a guy today. He's doing private lessons with me online. Who is he's turning 69. He's a purple belt in jiu-jitsu, and we're gonna and we talked about that for a long time. We talked about like, you know, why he fit in one place, why he didn't fit in, or why he didn't, and then why he did fit in, and that is a magical moment. And I told him that I'm so enthralled with people that do jiu-jitsu and respect them so much because there is a diminishment of ego. And, people in our lives there's a lot of them that are kind of full of shit. And when you meet someone that has done jiu-jitsu for a long time, it doesn't matter what belt you are. If you've just done it for a long time. I have a good friend who's been a blue belt for 18 years. I have more than one that has been in that case. But they have that diminishment of ego, and they have that love for this exuberance that this sport brings. And if you're a Christian, you want your mechanic to be a Christian, like you kind of trust them a little bit more.
Oh yeah,
because you have like a similar mentality.
You're like, oh yeah, we are the same in some way.
Yeah, we have the same values, and so I feel the same way with jiu-jitsu. That I want my mechanic to be a black belt. I want my accountant to be a black belt. I want my manager. I want
if you're a black belt, you're at least some level of there's some traits that are required, and so at least so you know that you're like, oh, at least you have those things, right?
You're not full of shit. That's the main thing. I think it's like you've had your ego, hammered,
just destroyed.
Yeah. So you don't think you don't stink. Like,
you know what? On that note, you know what I was thinking about the other day. I noticed a pattern. Because we have our group of black belt buddies that none of us are from the same gym where we all just get together. Yeah. And what I notice is when I talk to a lot of people, like general practitioners about jiu-jitsu, they'll tell you like, oh, I like this, or I've been doing this, you know what I mean, this has been working for me, this and that. And then usually when I talk to black belts, it's usually like, man, my guard is trash. You know what I mean? Or like oh, this, like I'm so bad at this, you know what I mean? Sometimes my students will ask me questions like, dude, honestly, I'm really bad at that, like I can look into it, or you should look it up.
It's very dude, so I met Javier yesterday.
Oh yeah,
which was so random. It was so funny. He had a
tell people who Javier is.
Okay, Javier is the latest heavyweight adult champion. I think he got two. I think he won his and absolutes in ADCC, the trials in
talking about
Mexico.
No-gi world champion. There's no trials in Mexico. There's no trials in Mexico. What's his name?
Javier. See, don't do this to me on live.
You said like I'm gonna tell you exactly. Something that sounded like Polish.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you exactly.
There was an open in Mexico.
Well, is that not the trials?
No, anyone. No, it's not the trials.
Oh. I'm gonna tell you exactly his name, and I'm sorry.
And he's a world champion, you said? Did he won the no-gi world champion?
No. What? I'll show you. I'm gonna show you.
This guy sounds like he's full of shit.
No, because I saw his IBJJF had his pictures up, and I was like, oh.
Well, the no-gi world's just passed. It's been a while since the gi worlds.
I know.
It's probably no-gi.
It probably was, but I feel like he was in it. No, it must have been. Okay.
No, IBJJF no-gi world champs men's.
Who is he? Tell me.
Wait, I don't want videos. I want.
Please
there we go.
Act like I remember him.
I'm not gonna cut it out. World Jiu-Jitsu champions.
Ruski.
His name is
Zaruski.
Javier Zaruski.
Javier Zaruski.
You're really far from your mic.
I know, because you're cutting this out.
I'm not gonna do that much editing to this. I'll be honest with you.
Javier Zaruski.
Javier Zaruski.
Yeah, he just won the Worlds. Shaboom. Boom.
History has been made. Wait, how did he make history?
Because he just won the heavyweight. He's the ultra heavyweight.
That's not historic. People win that every year.
Oh, my God. You're doing this?
No. Look, the very first Uruguayan black belt world champion in the history of the sport.
There you go.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Let me see his picture. Yeah, so no-gi worlds he won.
No-gi worlds.
Very cool.
But then you also won the Open, I guess. Sure.
That's the ADCC Open. Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah.
But does that give you points or something?
Supposedly, you supposedly it allows you to seed higher in the trials.
I see. Okay.
Supposedly.
Okay. Well, so.
Hey, I thought of something.
Yeah. Well, hold on. Big shout out to Javier Zaruski.
It doesn't sound Uruguayan, huh?
No, it doesn't. But he was a great guy. And
how'd you meet him?
He was staying at the same place that we were hanging out last night. He was staying at my buddy's was staying there too in Mission Beach with
nice.
a gorgeous girlfriend and or woman of the moment and.
A woman of the moment. You didn't ask. What's your relationship status with this young lady?
No, we didn't ask. But he was super cool, and it was really fun to because I asked him like how long because I didn't recognize him from his pictures, even though I'd seen that picture of him. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, oh, how long have you been in jiu-jitsu? Where are you at? And he's like, I'm at Atos. I've been doing it 12 years. And then I was like, and he was like, well, how about you? I'm like, well, I've been doing it about 25 years. And his girlfriend was like, oh, damn. And she was like kind of talking trash to him, like, oh,
what a noob.
Yeah, you got to call him professor. I'm like, no, this is the heavyweight world champion right here. Are you kidding me? And yeah, much respect to him.
Yeah.
And it's just super cool.
So did you guys see each other's ears across the bar, or like how did you?
No, not at all. I mean, we were just literally hanging out in front of watching the sunset on Mission Beach at the front of this place.
But I mean, like, how did the conversation begin?
It began with steroids because we were talking. Me and my buddy, who also does jiu-jitsu, we were like laughing about steroids or condemning them, and they were like, "Yeah, no steroids." And then we like sort of were like, "Wait a minute, do you do jiu-jitsu?" And then the conversation started. But super cool, and he is working very closely with Andre Gaval. So now
friend of the podcast.
I have a friend of the podcast, Andre Gaval. Well, we've been messaging. I've been messaging Andre Gaval through email for the last year, and now there's 3 of his top students are like telling me that I need to get in there and do this stuff.
Who's the other one?
He was super excited.
Murasaki.
Yeah, Andy Murasaki and Ronaldo Jr. All of them.
How do you know Ronaldo?
Top competitors. Oh, Ronaldo, he stayed with us when we went and saw ADCC. And he works with my buddy Warman, which is the greatest name ever, Warman. And they're friends like, Warm, the Brazilian connection. And he did the breathwork, Ronaldo, friend of the podcast, for sure. Or he would be. But he's a great guy. And,
he would be if he knew it existed.
Yeah, and he's a great guy. And I went through a session with him, and he passed out, which is awesome because not a lot of people like push themselves. And he pushed himself, and he passed out, and we were like, whoa, it was kind of crazy. Yeah, he kind of passed out in almost like some cactuses, and we were like, whoa, is that serious? Like, are you really passed? Because you don't know if somebody's like, are you really like falling over right now? But because he pushed himself, because he's such an absolute athletic phenom and physical specimen that he pushed himself and he really appreciated it. And he's when I see him, he talks to me about it a little bit and stuff. And then Javier was saying that they are that he wants to be one of like a representative of one of the clean. The steroid-free representatives of the sport.
And they all say that.
So, he wants to be. So, so much respect to him. And then I said, breathwork, we talked about how you could do breathwork to relieve the nerves, which I don't think he has a lot of nerves because he's already, he's winning the world championships and stuff. But he said he has a little bit. But mostly to recover during the match. To me, that's the master class. That's the sauce, man. If you can recover in the middle of a match and continue, then man, and to me, and you and I know that it's a technique. If you know how to do it in the moment, then man, it changes the game. I mean, you can get your energy back. So anyway, hopefully, this year I'll message Andre, but
we should get
in there.
We should get Mr. Zaruski on the podcast.
Yeah, friend of the podcast. Not yet, but almost.
We never finished introducing the podcast, so that's kind of what it's about, what we're going for. So it is going to be a jiu-jitsu podcast, but we're kind of just hanging out and going to talk about whatever we feel like talking about. So we'll probably have guests on that are pretty much going to be all jiu-jitsu guys, I would assume, right? But we might talk about jiu-jitsu, or we may just talk about whatever else.
Jiu-jitsu is life to me. I mean, I want to do jiu-jitsu my whole life, and it's a wonderful struggle of like being able to alleviate injuries and deal with the world at large. And you are a gym owner and all the things that you have to deal with, and being an entrepreneur, and I'm one too. And so like being able to balance those things. So I think that we would probably have majority jiu-jitsu practitioners because they're also dealing with that sort of stuff too. But other things that would help us out with longevity in jiu-jitsu, then we would sneak them in here.
I think so, yeah.
Too, you know?
Yeah.
And we're back. Thank you for joining us back.
So far, this is the best we've been able to do technologically.
Oh, okay.
Technologically.
Kind of far.
Yeah. We're learning. Yeah, man. So I have this this lease thing. It's killing me, dude.
Yeah. On the new place. You got a new place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other thing is too to everyone out there who owns a business, you may be tempted to write everything off on your taxes.
Yeah.
And just be like, I didn't make any money. You know?
Yeah.
But let me tell you, when you need something that involves credit, like signing a lease or getting a loan.
Yeah.
You're gonna wish you wrote off less things.
Wow, no way.
Because people like I turn in my taxes and it says here you made $15,000 last year.
That's correct.
I promise you. I promise everyone but the government I made more.
That's really funny. I saw it happen too in real time when we were. I was a manager of an Italian ice business, and the owner would just hide everything, and so. It was like we were working for this minor league baseball stadium, and they wanted us to go big. They were ready for us to go big. And then when they looked at the books, it was like he had been hiding everything from them. And so they were like,
You've only sold 3 Italian ices.
Yeah. Been here for years. And we were like, and his man, the guy organizing it, and the manager was like, you've been stealing from them. I wasn't involved in this stealing, by the way.
Right.
Yeah, I have a Christian mindset. But yeah, no, I'm pretty upfront about all my endeavors as far as financially and stuff like that.
I certainly don't. I can't hide any revenue because it's all an automatic credit card debits.
Yeah.
But I maximize all my write-offs. You know what I mean?
Well, because that's kind of shady. It's not shady, but like, what is exactly a write-off? Okay, so I bought popsicles for the kids at Costco with the Costco purchase. Like, do I need to cut it and we only ate half the popsicles at home and the rest went to the soccer team? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is though is so you hear about a lot of really rich people they pay $0 in taxes and things like that.
Yeah.
The difference is those companies have assets. So what I'm learning now is in the beginning you kind of want to show some revenue until your business can purchase assets, because then if you need credit you can take it out against your assets.
Wow.
Hey, look, I know I showed no revenue on my taxes, but the business owns this building, and so I'll take I can put you have more or less collateral.
Fascinating. That's why I heard.
I didn't do that. So that made this lease process very, very difficult. And
what kind of assets would you have? Mats are an asset, right? Because they're resellable. Or is that not really?
I mean, I put that down as an asset, but used mats are a few $1,000s.
What kind of assets would you have put down that you didn't?
Well, none. I don't have. The business doesn't own any assets.
I see.
The business doesn't own any assets.
I see.
So
you could do you could do a cold plunge. That's an asset. 10 grand, you know? Yeah, you could do a sauna.
Sauna would be an asset if you own the, you know, that's why, like, so we're going to lease this place, and the next place, my goal is to buy the building, the next building that we move into.
Oh, yeah. I hope so. Yeah.
It just wasn't the time to, yeah, we didn't go that route. But that'll be next, because then your business is worth something.
Right, for sure. I hope that for you. I mean, that's the ultimate goal, because you got to go McDonald's.
Right.
You got to be a real estate company, not a whatever company you are.
Yeah.
You got to like at least own the dirt.
Right.
Like, yeah.
Does McDonald's own all the?
Yeah. Have you ever watched there's a documentary on it. They don't sell hamburgers. They lease real estate to the people that have
the franchisees.
Oh yeah,
really?
Baby. That's what they're all about from the very giddy up.
So they break even on cheeseburgers.
Oh yeah, they don't give a shit
Chicken
about
nuggies.
cheeseburgers. They definitely don't give a shit about fries. How dare they? They're using those.
Hold on.
Sorry. Friend of the podcast, McDonald's. Listen, you need to use tallow. The OG McDonald's. Mr. McDonald used tallow, beef tallow, to cook his fries in. And then all of a sudden you started changing it to seed oils and stuff. And Malcolm Gladwell has an amazing podcast about, they used original, it's about McDonald's French fries, which doesn't seem like it would be interesting, but it's fascinating.
Sounds interesting to me instantly.
Oh my God, it's fascinating because
I love Malcolm Gladwell, and I love McDonald's French fries.
Yeah, Malcolm Gladwell, friend of the podcast.
Yeah,
he just is just, you know, has an exuberant language that he shares the stuff in. But McDonald's followed the seed oils, that followed the oil history of what consumers were thinking was important. So at one point they were like, they can't be beef tallow anymore. It can't be beef. It has to do something else. But the OG McDonald's was like, fries are our thing, and it's because they were so good, and they used Russell potatoes, and they used beef tallow. But then when people were like, oh, no beef, so they started using these different seed oils. And I'll make this short, but
you don't have to. Yeah, you don't have.
Dude, it's so good. It's such a good podcast. And his podcasts are 30 minutes, and they're just crazy well researched. And they even redid the different. They made the old school McDonald's French fries, and they said they were incredible.
I love them now, though. I'm addicted to them.
Whoa, no way. So yeah, these would blow your mind because.
When was this?
Oh! Don't make me pull up dates. But
we're talking decades or like recently?
Decades.
Okay.
So they followed what the consumer seed oil propaganda was. Okay, so we're not going to use beef anymore. They have to be like vegan, vegetarian, and so they started using these wacky seed oils. And at one point, they were so potent. This is my favorite. At one point, they were so like rancid, this oil that would, because it gets heated to crazy degrees and kills everything, and now it's not like really consumable. It's like machine lubricant at some point, and the seed oil was getting in the air. The oil's getting in the air, and it's getting all over their uniforms. And at one point, they would throw all their uniforms into a van because they have to go get washed, and the van spontaneously combusted because the oil was so horrific. All the kids are full of zits, and like everything was bad about this. But
it definitely used to be a thing that everyone that worked at McDonald's had acne.
Well, yeah, because they were getting
so much grease in the air.
Most hardcore seed oils just implanted into their pores. The poor people. But
we've talked about in other episodes that no one will hear that I've been messing with my diet to get rid of my psoriasis.
Yeah,
and I, for the most part, have gotten it. It's pretty well under control.
Nice one. What are the secrets, Professor?
Well, I'll tell you the one thing that made the biggest difference.
Yeah.
Is and all the white girls are going to hate this.
Oh,
okay.
No.
But I stopped making my lattes with oat milk.
Right.
And I started using whole milk. And I always thought that I couldn't have dairy, which was interesting. But it doesn't bother me at all. And I'll tell you why. But I switched to oat milk. I switched to regular milk. mostly actually just for the calories because I had cut out other sugar, and so I was like, I need the fats and stuff, and so I just have some milk. But then I looked later and I realized that if you go get your bottle of oat milk, first ingredient is oats, second ingredient
sugar
is no, because I would get oat milk that didn't have the sugar in it.
Oh.
The second ingredient would be some sort of seed oil, vegetable oil, or canola oil or whatever.
Oat milk
that's why it's so delicious. It's fucking creamy as shit.
Is it?
Because it's made. It's like
oily.
It's oily. Yeah.
Oat milk without sugar sounds like throw up to me. But you're saying it sounds good. It tastes good.
I don't know that it. I mean, the kinds that I would get didn't really have. I mean, maybe like a couple of grams of sugar.
Okay.
But not like flavored oat milk. Gotcha. I would never drink a glass of it, but it made a good latte. And because I would add honey to the latte, and I go real white girl with my coffee. I dash cinnamon on top.
2 white girl burns. Luckily, no white girls are listening to the podcast right now.
Right.
And if you are, then thank you for sticking around.
Enjoy your oat milk lattes.
Not me. I go two tablespoons of butter and 2 tablespoons of MCT oil.
Yeah.
In a single coffee.
What does it taste like?
Right.
Lube? This is so greasy.
I don't know what lube tastes like, but
maybe not taste like, but feels like.
If I imagine what it would taste like, I think it's probably it's pretty.
My throat is so lubricated.
Luberific. I mean, it cleans everything out. Things are like, we're out of here. You are empty, sir. Thank you. Thanks for coming.
Yeah. So I used to not think I used to think I couldn't have dairy.
Yeah.
And what someone pointed out to me that I believe is true is that they said, well, maybe because what I would tell them is it doesn't like hurt my stomach. I don't have that kind of lactose intolerance, but it would just make me feel crappy.
Okay.
And I would get a little bit phlegmy.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So they go, maybe it's not dairy. It's just that everything that has dairy in it typically also has a ton of sugar in it. You know what I mean? I'd be like, pizza messes me up. Well, it's not pizza. It's the dough.
It's the sugar in the dough.
Yeah, right. Or ice cream, obviously. Cheeseburgers with a bun.
Crushes me.
If you think of most things, if you're having cheese, unless you're eating charcuterie.
Charcuterie?
Yeah.
Charcuterie board.
Usually it's a lot of sugar with it.
Yeah, wow, yeah, all right.
So I'll eat like straight cheese often now, and it doesn't bother me.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, that's huge. We have to know what's and I think it's the heirloom wheat too. Heirloom wheat and that.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, so
that GMO.
Yeah, like we're GMO here, but heirloom wheat is like Italian, or if you get wheat that is not GMO, then it seems to be very easy on your digestive tract.
Where do you get that? Can you get that in America?
Yeah,
it
costs quite a bit more, but I get it if I'm making something. If I'm going to use flour for something.
Where do you get it from?
Just Amazon.
Oh, you buy it as flour.
Yeah. I'll buy.
So you can't really get like bread that is heirloom bread.
No, but I mean, I do have an Italian partner of a brother-in-law who can make bread out of whatever's in the house. It's crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
But so there's no sugar in it, or because the carbs still turn into sugar, right?
Yeah, that's true. But
well, I'm gonna try it.
Yeah, heirloom wheat is it's the real deal. I mean, you just gotta find it.
Listen, your phone has gone off 3 times in this podcast.
No, that wasn't me. You're gonna silence
it?
I turned it off. That wasn't me. Oh no, maybe it did come
It
through.
was you, because mine's on airplane.
Mine is on airplane too. Maybe it's not. You're right. I turned it off.
Was that in shot? I can't tell. I just stopped to scratch my balls, and I realized, wait, where's this lens cut off?
Right at your balls.
You might be able to see. I don't know. You get anywhere else to go with it? We can wrap it up here, or
heirloom wheat, diet, health is. Let's go one more place.
Okay.
So tomorrow, today's Monday, right? So tomorrow I'm doing a 3-day water fast, which I'm pretty excited about. Gary,
you only go water.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's called a 3-day water fast. Gary Brecka, my superhero of health, he is the ultimate. Well, I mean, his brand is the Ultimate Human, and he is spearheading this, and so you can sign up for it, and so it's kind of cool because they'll give you some instruction on how to do it. But tomorrow is you get amino acids if you want in the morning, and then electrolytes and bone broth tomorrow. 2 days, you got 2 meals of bone broth, and then the next 2 days it's just water. So that's kind of cool. I'm excited about it. I've never done more than like a 30-something hour fast, and we'll see what happens. And I think that it's going to be good.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do a one day after this tournament.
Okay, cool. Which one? What tournament?
God bless my fat people. Fat that have to be around me.
When's the tournament?
January 20th. That's it's the Long Beach. It's the ADCC Open, Long Beach Open.
Oh dang! January 20th, huh? Mm-hmm. Dang, respect. All right, maybe I'll come through with that.
I've been, you should come. I trained with Miha yesterday.
Oh, nice.
And I was asking him about, hey, you guys have like an ADCC kind of practice.
Yeah, like a camp.
No, they just have class. They have no-gi classes in their day that are like geared towards ADCC rules.
Okay, cool.
And he said I can come, so I'm gonna go train with him. And
that's awesome.
I was assuming Keenan and Jay Flo, Justin Flores. He teaches the class.
Oh, all right.
You know Justin Flores?
He's not jiu-jitsu. He's like judo.
Yeah, but he does jiu-jitsu. But he's like he's known for his like wrestle judo.
Yeah. No, he seems like he's got some real cool stuff.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. So we'll see. So I can do that.
What days are those?
It's gonna be Thursdays for me.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna try to get the other guys together on Tuesdays, but I can't do it tomorrow. And then Sundays I go to the open mats. Yeah. Because I do the majority of my training with lower belts, but I prefer it that way. I actually feel like I'm getting better faster now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And I can see the difference too because I get upper belt rolls so seldomly that relatively seldomly that I can. So what kind of like confirmed it for me was like I was like, man, I feel like I'm getting better so much faster. But maybe I'm just processing faster than people that are less experienced than me.
Yeah.
But when I roll with upper belts because it's been a week, I will typically all the black belts that I roll with regularly, even though the space is spread out, I catch them. I catch up to them most of the time. Nice. I'm definitely improving.
Marcel Garcia did that, man.
Yeah.
I just watched. There's an awesome documentary that somebody posted, which it's fantastic.
On Marcelo?
On Marcelo. It's 30 minutes. It's got like all this old school footage.
What's it on?
I can't believe you got it.
YouTube?
On YouTube, yeah. It's called The God of Submissions.
Oh, I've been getting that suggested to me. And I thought it was just a highlight. I was like, man, I've seen all these highlights.
No, it is a highlight, but it's like it goes through his history, and then whoever did the audio over it is a huge fan because he's got like, he makes crazy references. I mean, you get to see Renzo Gracie up kick, Olav Tektarov, and like you get to see all these old school, super fun stuff. But the majority of his training was with blue belts at that time. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure. I think that was his. And then he did an amazing breakdown of how he is rolling with a blue belt normally and how he's rolling with a blue belt when he is going to compete. Mm-hmm. And he has to compete with like the higher level guys. And the weird thing was, it's easily defined. That one's free. But the weird thing is he passed the blue belts guard quicker when he was just like it was just normal day blue belt training,
right? And
then when it was like go time and he's got to prepare himself, it took him longer to pass guard, but he was doing an excruciatingly amount more of movements.
Yeah.
So he was like just like all over the place and jumping and stuff.
That's what I've heard Marcelo say this, where he says that when he rolls with lower belts, he actually rolls harder with them. Because he's like, if you keep a fast pace and you're going ham, you're probably actually going to make more mistakes. So like it handicaps you a little bit and allows the blue belt more of a chance. Because like if you're going super hard and you're getting tired and stuff.
Oh wow! That's funny. I don't agree with that. I think that, but I can't. I don't want to disagree with Marcel Garcia. But it's when you sprint on someone, then they react sometimes without knowing. You know what I mean? Like they react so fast, and so it seems like when you go fast against them, that they're like popping into a different part of their brain where they're doing a decent defense against you just because you're attacking them with so much speed. Kind of
I don't know.
Lines, maybe.
I don't know. I don't.
Well,
I don't feel like I've never tried it.
To just turn it like way up.
Yeah, I feel like it would be weird with people that like are members.
But well, you have to know. You have to. You got to tell them like, hey, we're going to do ADC training.
Yeah.
So we're going to turn it up.
I feel like put the emphasis on the wrong syllable there.
I did.
ADCC.
There was a little C in there. ADCC. Totally.
But yeah, I'm gonna try. Yeah, you're right.
You let them
just
know.
preface it. Yeah.
Like, hey, I'm gonna go, and then expect them to. I would expect them to make it. It's gonna make them tougher. It's gonna make if Marcelo Garcia's video like stands true, it's gonna be harder to pass their guard because they're turning it way up, and now they're using instinct to fly out of these positions, which is interesting. So you know this too as a black belt, and like going with a lower belt, you like it's up to us to dictate the pace, and so if I turn it up, then it's going to be a harder roll because they're going to turn it up. But if I clamp down a few times and just let them know, like, hey,
chill
just
them out.
slow them out. Yeah, slow down a little, buddy. Then it's going to be an easier roll. So it's almost like you're dictating the pace of those guys, but it would probably do service them pretty well.
Yeah. The I was just about to say. I one of the things I've been wanting to bring up is we probably won't have time to get into it. We can get into it next time. But we've talked about how hard to roll and how Henner or that got almost a little bit mad at you for rolling too hard with someone else.
Yeah. I mean, Huron kind of.
Oh, it's Huron.
Yeah. Just talked a little trash about my game. Which was, taught me a ton. It was because he's kind of keep it playful, and I'm like, this guy's face cranking me, so I want to be on top.
It's not a game I want to play.
Yeah, no, I'm not. He's not keeping it playful.
Yeah,
but so I want to be on top. But yeah, he taught me a massive amount by saying, well, you're not comfortable. That's because you're not comfortable on the bottom. I'm like, son of a biscuit, I'm not with this big old guy,
I see the value in that, but I also I was actually just giving my students like a talk about like when you know somebody, turn the intensity up. Like don't do it with strangers or beginners, right. But when you know 100%. Someone, go hard and push each other. Lloyd Irvin has said a lot of crazy things.
Yeah.
But one of the things that he said that I liked is he talks about something he calls BJJ bitch assness.
Okay.
And what he says is people in jiu-jitsu are bitch asses.
They accept positions.
Yeah. They don't go hard, right? That's too much softness. And they like if you sweep someone, you get their butt to the ground, they usually just go like They don't fight for it at all.
You don't do that at all. No, yeah. you're like I think for sure I'm like 99% confident that I have the sweep or something, and then you're doing something, you're bucking and kicking. It's like trying to hold down a wild deer. Like you just completely disappear out from underneath. You're like, what? I for sure had that, but no, you're like, I am out.
One of the things he says with that in regards to that is, you know how like when you're rolling, if you bump somebody, you knee them or your elbow or something like that, you stop. Usually you stop and you're like, oh sorry,
Yeah.
And he said. He's like, if you knee somebody and it's not bad enough that they have to stop, like if they have to, like if they're able to continue training, don't say sorry, say get some.
Did he? No way. It's amazing.
Imagine.
I'm gonna start doing that.
Roll with someone and you accidentally pop them with your elbow, like, get some, and then you pass their guard, and they're just like,
why did you do that?
Dominated me physically and mentally.
There's a talking while you're rolling is a whole avenue we can discuss next time. But like we saw in the Nicky Ryan. Who's the older one?
Gordon.
No, sorry. No,
Nicky Rod?
Nicky Rod. We saw it in the Nicky Rod when he was on top of the last ADC champion. And he was like, he said, he was like, points from the bottom. He was like stalling on the bottom. And then the dude on the bottom.
Wait.
I'm not even giving him respect.
He was rolling with who?
Who's the last ADCC champion?
In what way?
It's on the tip of my tongue. You should cut this. But
oh, was it in? It was in the
his last match.
Oh
his
yeah,
last
yeah,
match.
yeah. Was it Pedro Mourinho?
No, stalling points on the bottom. God, he's a Bay Area guy too. He's just every time he gets out on the mat, we all would go get popcorn or something. Nobody cares.
We'd all get popcorn.
He's the worst.
Yuri Smos?
Sorry, Yuri. Sorry,
Okay,
Yuri.
yeah.
Your matches are boring as fuck. You know it. I mean, I'm not telling you anything you don't know. But engage, disengage, engage, disengage. Okay, yeah, you got the game down. We're all proud of you. You've actually showed us how the rules need to be changed. Yeah. Amazing. Thank you. Thank you for showing us that.
So he was telling the ref.
I think he won ADC with like -2 points. Like in all of his matches combined. He got like 0 points.
He just won on like just penalties.
Engage,
and stuff.
disengage. Yeah. It's unreal. As soon as, I mean, I'm in ADCC. Last year, I'm in the stadium and like, we don't know what's going on. We're just kind of hanging out and having fun. And then as soon as his matches would come up, like it's Yuri versus everyone, you literally hear a collective like, oh, and then like it was
like everyone's in stadium seatings. You'd hear like chairs scoot back. Like everyone's getting
no kidding. The place would empty. It would literally everyone would be going to get food because we knew exactly how it was going to go. He would engage, disengage.
Dude, I can't wait. I'm gonna clip this and I'm gonna title it Miles Lucas tells the world like what's wrong with Yuri Simões. Miles Lucas calls out Yuri Simões.
That's right. Come on, come get some.
So
Yuri.
viral.
Oh man. But so he was on the bottom, and Nicky Rod was on top, and he goes. He was like, points for stalling on the or something. Like, penalty for stalling on the bottom while he was on top. Like, he's talking shit while he's on top. And then Yuri goes, shut up. And he goes, I love you. And like
who says I love you?
Nick said that. Love you.
How did you know this? If you were there live?
Yeah.
No,
this is the latest. No, this is their latest match they had together.
Oh, they had a match outside of. I love you.
It just happened. It was so funny. It was so funny. I love you. Shut up. And I think he said like, no, you don't, or something like that.
No, no, you don't.
You don't love me. You don't love me. It was so good. I'll send you the clip. We'll put it in the show notes.
Yeah.
If this actually goes live. But
this is going live. This is going well, dude. The camera's cut out twice.
Yeah.
And that's all that's gone wrong.
Oh man.
This is going really good.
No, but there's something about talking.
I gotta wrap it up though.
Okay. But there's something about talking when you roll. And that's my latest, I think, jiu-jitsu.
Mental jiu-jitsu?
Yeah.
You talk to them, get in their head?
Oh, yeah. You get a little tired, start whispering in their ear. Slow them down a little bit. You can do that.
I have this awesome memory of my first MMA fight. Took it on 24 hours notice. It's actually not on my my Tapology record is incorrect because that one's not on there because I took it on such short notice. You know? Yeah. And I won it like a minute 19 or something like that.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking backstage because my first fight, just learning how to do stand up, and I remember how to do striking. And I remember thinking if I can just get the guy down, then he's fucked, right?
Why?
Well, because I was a purple belt. Okay. And he had like a year of jiu-jitsu. Okay. You know what I mean? And my striking, I was like, maybe I can bang with this guy, but if I can get him down, he's fucked. You know? Yeah. And so within 10 seconds, he was down. And so to myself, not to him, I said out loud, oh, you're fucked. And I feel like it got in his head. I don't know, but I tapped him out 30 seconds after that.
Oh, I am fucked.
You're fucked.
100%. Oh my God. Yeah. Nate Diaz versus Frank Shamrock. Mm-hmm. He would get him up against the fence and he would call him a bitch every time he hit him. Nobody calls Frank Shamrock a bitch in his life. You know what I mean? He's a bad motherfucker. In his life. He's the greatest.
Only his ex-wife calls him that.
I mean, Frank Shamrock to me is like, oh, he's one of my favorite humans that ever existed doing this thing. And then there, Nick Diaz is just, bitch, just call him a bitch. And he said later that it really got in his head.
Yeah,
so that fucked him up.
I bet.
What? He's punching me and calling me a bitch.
Ken Shamrock and I were almost best friends.
Is that right?
Ken's the younger one, right?
Don't stop this.
Which one's the younger?
Frank's the younger one.
Oh, okay. Who were you just talking about?
Ken. I was talking about Frank. The
younger
one.
Yeah.
Frank's the older one. He had a fun book.
Who did?
Frank did.
Oh, really?
No, Ken did.
Ken did?
Ken did. When he was a bouncer, this is how I'll just tell you a clip. He would put up a fence. And he put up his hand, and he said, "You only get 3 times to touch the fence." And on the 3rd time,
I'm hitting you.
Yeah, you know what's happening.
That's a good. Honestly, that's a good rule for self-defense.
Man, I think he might even told him, like, listen, this is the fence. Don't get near me. On the 3rd time you touch this fence, things will change.
Suddenly, it's an electrical fence.
Our relationship changes.
But me and Ken were almost best friends, dude.
The younger one?
Yeah.
Frank.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, he doesn't know that. But
where was he?
He moved in. I think I told you before I moved into this house. He moved into my apartment complex.
Oh my God, no kidding.
Yeah, and it was funny because I talked to him for a while without knowing who he was.
No way.
In fact, I saw him, so I pulled into my apartment complex and he was walking his dog.
Yeah, with his gristled face and his ears all.
No, so he had a hat and sunglasses on.
Okay.
So I couldn't really see him, and honestly, he's a pretty fella for how many fights he's been in.
Oh, respect. Yeah, he was. He was one of the sexiest. MMA fighters.
Yeah. So I remember driving past him, and he was walking his dog without a leash and throwing a ball near the street.
I don't like that
at the street.
Yeah,
It's a very unbusy street, like a car per 30 seconds. But I remember thinking in my head, like, oh, what an idiot.
Yeah.
But didn't know who he was, right?
Yeah.
Then I see him later. I'm like, oh, that's that idiot. And then he starts talking to me because I was wearing a shirt that had my friend's gym's logo on it. And he goes, "Oh, you do MMA?" I'm like, "Yeah." We start talking this and that, and he's like, and then I go, "Oh, I realize he's wearing a Bellator t-shirt." I'm like, "Oh yeah, you're into MMA?" He goes, "Oh, dude, I love it." You know, it was the humblest guy, right? Like it could have been like, "You're into MMA," and he could have been like, "I'm Frank Shamrock."
You haven't heard of me, especially at that point in Bellator. He done pancrase and rings.
Oh yeah. This was a year ago.
Oh my God. Yeah. He's one of the greatest of all time.
Yeah, not even. It was like 4 or 5 months ago. Yeah. So so I was and he goes, "Oh yeah." And then he goes, somehow it came up. He goes, "Yeah, I fought and this and that." And I go, "What's your name?" And then he told me his name because I asked. Not because he was bragging.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, maybe I've seen you fight. Like, who, what's your name?" And then he goes, "Frank Shamrock." And I'm like, and then he takes his glasses and his hat off, And I'm like, "Oh my God. I know who you are. I'm a big fan."
Oh my God.
And I was talking to him about like thinking, he's like, "Well, you're in MMA." And I'm like, "Yeah, I don't know if you know." But.
You were the guy. Yeah. Oh my God.
And I go, "Dude, I just opened a gym." And he's like, "Oh, I'll come by." I'll come train sometime. I'm like, okay, yeah, for sure. And he goes, "Well, I'm going to China or something like tomorrow. I'll be back in 2 weeks. But then I moved 10 days after that. Never saw him again.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Dude, when Frank Shamrock is 80 in like a wheelchair with tennis balls on it or in like a walker, he'll still come back and beat both our asses, I feel like. He's the baddest to the core. Frank Shamrock, we're a friend of the podcast.
Exclude me from that.
He is the baddest. Don't. I'm the biggest fan of him.
All right, I gotta roll.
Okay.
So, podcast is the aftermath. We'll have social media and stuff for it at some point when one of us can be bothered. But for now, just follow me. Sorry, man, I'm burping a lot. Follow me and Miles, Nick Angeloni 155 on all social media platforms. If you want to train with me, check out Prism Jiu-Jitsu. Miles?
Yeah, Miles Lucas on Instagram or breath.fitness on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, your mama's house, everything.
All right, that's it.
All right.
Peace.
Peace.